この苦国のわし、勝利のため一肌脱がせていただこう。ああ。おお、それは良好。飲み交わす仲間がいてこそ酒はうまい。
Hey everyone, Silverox is here, and the unit coming to Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent this week is actually going to be Kazan, the Eagle of Ku. So, what does the Eagle of Ku do now that he's joining the Champions of the Continent as a playable character? He is a scholar, and his role is that he is a wind DPS. His special abilities is that he has a special unique buff that, while active, gives him a chance to triple cast all elemental skills. His EX skill allows him to give himself guaranteed chance to triple cast, as well as other chance-based effects to become guaranteed. His preferred weapons would be a Brilliant Tome for damage cap is best, and if you're struggling to cap, you can use Cosmic or Fortune Tomes as needed, but he mainly wants cap up. His preferred accessories would be damage cap if you can spare it, if main DPSing, otherwise anything that can give passive wind damage up, as he gives himself none, can be very useful. For his passive skills plus latent power, his first passive is that he gives himself a 50% chance to double cast elemental skills when he has the icon buff. And the 6-star skill evolution changes this to triple cast, which is what you're going to always have. Once you get him to 6-star, either if you pull him on release or if you get him later. His 3-star passive is that all buffs, debuffs, and status ailments inflicted by him last 1 turn longer. Then his TP latent power is when activated, he gives himself a countdown of 3 turns, and when the countdown reaches 0, he performs a 1-hit AoE wind of decent power that exploits Tome and Fire, and the power doubles if an enemy is broken. The TP level 2 enhancement means that gives him at the start of battle, he grants himself Icon for 4 turns. This is not yet released for global, but this is a very good buff for him to have. And what Icon is it gives himself 10% physical attack, magic attack up, and its main use is that it allows his 1-star passive to activate. This Icon is an active buff. It is a unique buff, but it is in the active category, so just keep that in mind. Moving on to his skills, his base kit, he has a 3-hit single target tome, a 2-hit AoE wind. Then his 1-star skill gives himself Icon for 3 to 6 turns and restore SP for 25 to 100% of his max SP. Then he has an AoE 15% physical defense, magic defense down for 2 to 5 turns, and for each target there is a 50% chance to inflict a 20% physical attack, magic attack down for 3 turns, 30% chance to inflict poison or bleed for 3 turns, or a 10% chance to inflict burning, frostbite, or corrosion for 3 turns. Keep in mind that if you have his EX skill active, then all of those become 100% and will always happen. Then he has a 3-hit random target wind that exploits Tome and Fire, and there's a 10% chance per hit to inflict paralysis for 2 turns. Then he has a front row 15% physical attack, magic attack up for 2 to 5 turns, and for each target there is a 50% chance to grant 30% damage up to broken targets for 2 turns. A 30% chance to grant 50% potency up for 2 turns, which this part can't be stacked or extended. A 10% chance to grant a buff that allows skills that get stronger with a status ailment active to exploit all weaknesses for 2 turns. The other buffs will be extended by his passive, and that last 10% chance buff, that all of those do become 100% chance with the EX skill active. That's basically like the same thing as like the Serafina or Esmeralda ability that lets people exploit. His 4-star skill is a Swift Strike skill, which means it's a start of the turn attack for the next 2 to 5 turns, which is a 3-hit AoE wind that exploits Tome and Fire. This skill's attack cannot be triple casted. Then he has a Grant Self Icon for 3 turns, then Heal All Allies, restore all allies SP by 5% of their max SP, and give them 1 BP. And then for each target, there is a 30% chance to grant an 8 HP regen, plus SP regen, plus 1 BP regen for 3 turns, which by his passive would be extended to 4 turns. Then a 10% chance to grant an HP barrier equal to 100% of Kazan's max HP. Keep in mind that this ability with the EX skill active will then become 100% chance for those extra effects, which makes it a very good skill. That's why it costs so much SP. Then he has a 5-hit single target wind that exploits Tome and Fire and inflicts 15% magic defense down for 2 turns. Additionally, there is a 50% chance to inflict Blind for 2 turns, 30% chance to inflict 15% elemental resistance down for 2 turns, and a 10% chance to implant 3 stacks of Wind Weakness. And keep in mind, this is his main nuking skill, as this is a 15-hit wind with his triple cast, which is guaranteed with the EX skill active. Then his TP skill is a 1-hit single target wind that exploits Tome and Fire with very, very high power, because this is a Mega Giga Nuke skill. It has a 50% chance to restore 3 BP to himself, and 30% chance to restore 100 SP to himself, and the power increases by 1.1 times if the target is broken. The TP level 2 enhancement in the future is that the power is increased even further, and the attack gains 300,000 damage cap up. This is important when you see his TP level 2 bonus, but just a reminder, TP level 2 is not yet released for global. For his EX skill plus ultimate technique, his EX skill has 3 total uses, and it's unlocked when he has Icon active. And what his EX skill does is it grants himself 100,000 damage cap up, plus enable all chance-based effects on all of Kazan's skills and passives to become a guaranteed 100% chance for 3 to 6 turns. So basically his game plan is give himself Icon if he doesn't have it, max boost his EX skill or as much as you can handle, so therefore he actually becomes an effective unit and there's no more RNG in any of his skills. His ultimate technique is a damage class ultimate called Shizen Haichin. It is an 8-hit AoE wind that exploits Tome and Fire of OK power. For each target, there is a 50% chance to inflict corrosion for 2 turns, 30% chance to inflict blindness for 2 turns, and a 10% chance to inflict dizziness for 2 turns, which, as a reminder, those will all become 100% chance with the CX skill active. Also keep in mind that his ultimate technique cannot be triple casted. It's its own thing. At ultimate level 10, the power scale is to 8 times 45, and at ultimate 20, the power scale is 8 times 55. That's all. At ultimate 20, he gains 30% charge per BP, 60% with AU, 6 BP to fully charge, 3 BP with AU. The 200% gauge activation bonus is Super Burst. This ult gains a stackable 50% potency up to its damage. The AU priority, I would leave this unawakened. For his Awakenings plus A4 accessory plus TP level 2 bonus. A1, extra stats are good, he lacks self-passive buffs. A2 is useful to have more skill options. A3, HP is always good, especially for squishy scholars. A4 accessory is called the Banquet Goblet. It gives 40 SP and 100 magic attack. It grants whoever holds it a self 30% magic attack up, plus raise passive magic attack buff limit to 50%. And also grants self ability to crit with magic attacks. The A4 tier rating for this is I would rate this as a B tier because the stats are fine, but the problem is this is only okay on him because he lacks any sort of passive magic attack himself, and what he wants most is damage cap. The biggest flaw with this A4 is it boosts damage potential a lot without giving any damage cap. Also, Isla existing gives passive buff cap extension already to the front row, and he is very common in most Magic teams, so this is likely not worth starting for really at all, or chasing. The TP level 2 bonus with both active and plus passive level 2s unlocked is he will gain the damage cap multiplier, which is total skill potency times 0.0025 plus 0.75 equals the total damage cap multiplier. This multiplier multiplies every source of damage cap by this value for that attack. Minimum potency needed is 500 for a 2 times modifier, and only skill potency matters, which does include any modifiers to the power present within the skill itself. Potency up from other buffs do not count towards this. For an optimal skill loadout, skill 1, grant self icon for 3 to 6 turns plus restore SP. This is very mandatory if you want to use him effectively because he needs his icon buff for just about everything to be active, so he can use his EX skill. Skill 2, self icon for 3 turns plus all allies buffs for all the regens, mainly the BP regen. Skill 3 is 5-hit single target wind for a 15-hit wind with triple cast. And skill 4, the front row 15% physical attack magic attack up plus all the extra buffs. I consider that to be very useful. The one that also does all the debuffs could also be considered useful, so it varies on what build you're running. To explain this better, pre-TP level 2, you need to give Kazan Icon. with a skill, then EX skill, so he always triple casts his attacks and does the chance-based things. This does starve him of BP, which is why you want to use the skill that gives 1 BP plus 1 BP regen as well. He requires some basic setup, but otherwise is very easy to get going and use. With TP level 2, you can slot in the 1 to 3 hit Mega Nuke with the damage cap multiplier and effect for even more damage cap potential. And with the TP level 2, he starts battles with 4 turns of Icon to make setting up faster, so you can use his EX skill in turn 1. For unit synergy, Wind basically has no good supports currently. Fortunately, Global does have some better options from buffs. Isla, amazing magic support with his ultimate and passives. Rinyu EX, turn from light support into all magic support with her skills and can give Kazan much needed potency up with her ultimate. Oswald EX can give Kazan extra stats from his passive and a longer lasting potency up if needed, but be careful of the extra SP cost up due to Kazan's high skill cost. Agnea can be a decent sub DPS for Wind to go alongside and has great buff/debuff options to assist as well. Moruso EX, ult potency up, and Jest for the enlightenment buff to let Kazan exploit more weaknesses if needed. Sayorice in the far future as just released in JP, but she is basically just a better Rondo EX except for wind and fire element instead of ice, but with an edge given to Wind. If she was out now, Kazan would be extremely awesome. She literally does pretty much everything Rondo EX can do, but slightly better, in my opinion. So to pull or not to pull, plus overall rating, Kazan is a very potent DPS for the absolute worst element in the game currently. Wind has the least supporting options out of any character. Passive wind resistance down is only on very specific A4s or from Minnow the 4-star cleric. Furthermore, despite having a very easy to set up and powerful 15 hit for Wind, he completely lacks passive magic attack, passive damage up, and any kind of self-potency up, meaning he needs a lot of support to maximize his potential, which for Wind specifically will not exist for quite some time. It does exist in Sayorice in Japan for now, but basically currently there is just no reason to use him over the much more powerful Rainbow team led by Zerk and Oswald. If you love wind damage though, Kazan is your man without question. As always, pull advice is just advice. Please pull and have fun your own way. Tier 4, free to play, skip. Tier 3, low spend/passes, also skip. Tier 2, Dolphin, A0/skip/great for future paid selector for collectors. And Tier 1, Whale, A4, or whatever you want to do with them. Overall rating, DPS S, support A, healing A, tank not available, overall tier A+. As a reminder, I do tier rankings based on their current release in Global right now, and it's just that while he does have a strong 15 hit and everything like that, I can't rank him much higher than he already is because of the lack of all the other supports that makes it very hard to use him effectively, and there's just significantly better options out there. But he is still a very solid unit, so if you like Wind, go nuts. Let me know if you're going to pull for him, and if you do, good luck. I will probably just be skipping him myself and just get him on a paid selector in the future, as I have no use for him right now currently. So even if I don't get him till like this December, that's fine. I'll just wait it out, because by then TP level 2 might be out, and then he can actually be used a lot more effectively. Alright, otherwise, thanks for everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe for more COTC content to come, and please check out the other content of this channel as well, as I do multiple different things to try to make it as a content creator, so all your support is greatly appreciated. Please check out the channel membership or Patreon below as well. Anything helps. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.